Hello, my name is David Webb and this is a video for Dweebovision. I am a Scrabble grandmaster and in this video I am going to play Scrabble while providing in-game commentary on my moves. Hopefully this will help to improve your game and be fun to watch. The game has just started, so let's join the action. It's me to go first. I've got 5 vowels, I've got 2 U's, I've got a W. This is a really bad rack. I can't see any way of scoring very much with it, so I'm going to change all of the tiles apart from the E. The alternative to that would be retaining the E and the L, or the ELA, but I think just the E is best. Great, I draw the first blank, but I have also got the W and the U and a duplicate R, so I may not have a bingo. My opponent has changed as well. Now, I have 3 problems: the duplicate R, the U and the W, and the B isn't particularly bingo-y. Well, I'm thinking brew may be best. The alternative would be BUR or BURR, retaining the W, but I think the U is probably more bingo-y than the W. Gosh, this is quite a grim start to the game. This has been 3 poor racks, but I do have the blank, so hopefully things will turn around. I can't see any bingos of 7 or 8 letters with this rack. I may need to change again. Iure is good, I-U-R-E, and that would leave E-I blank, so if I can play that, that would probably be better than changing. So the floaters are W and G. Can't see bingos through either of those. If I could play through the G, I would obstruct my opponent's use of the triple word square at 08. But my priority is to resolve my rack. I can do that quite nicely down here. This kills things for my opponent. And although I've got the blank, I didn't have a bingo-y rack, so it wasn't particularly in my advantage to leave the board with hotspots. Now, this is a balanced rack, but I may not have a bingo because I have the J, and that doesn't feature in a lot of bingos. There are very few floaters for me to consider. Probably just the W, nothing through that. Now I can place my J at J6 to make J, and then the rack leave of EI LMR blank is not bad, and I'd be getting 26 points for that. Great, that isn't blocked. Has my opponent provided anything good for me? I'm looking for bingos through the M or the I initially. Can't see any of those. Now the other move to consider is a play down from I3 with the J on the double letter square. So something like Jimmer, Jimmel, Jem, Jemil. None of those is good. So I haven't seen anything better than J. Well, I'm not sure the L is a particularly good letter to keep. It doesn't go that well with the M or the R, so I think playing off the L as well improves the rack leave as well as the score. Right, do I finally have a bingo? Ayuri takes nothing after it. So there is the bingo lane in column 8 for a word ending, well, ending EE or AE or IE. Can't see anything. Beemia is good, but I don't think that plays. Now, I do have something in column 10, B rhymes and B Myers and by reams also making brews. What's nice about that is that with by reams I can put both the B and the M on triple letter squares. And despite a run of grim racks, I am still just in the lead. Now if that spot is blocked, do I have anything through the M of Minder? Duplicate M isn't too much of a problem, but it can be difficult to see bingos which contain them. I have the IM and the IMB prefix. No, I can't see anything through that M. There's also the bingo lane in column M beginning with the E of Ayuri. Triage takes an S after it, so I could have a word beginning SE. Can't see anything there. So at the moment I'm wholly reliant on brews remaining available. Column M, great, not blocked. Triaged. Pretty sure that's good, but I will just check. Yeah, that's fine. Sometimes if you're not sure, and you would be sure if you spent time thinking about it, it's still worth challenging just to save yourself that time. 5 points rarely determines a game, although it does sometimes do so, so one shouldn't challenge frivolously. So, by reams and brews for 81. And I now have an 88-point lead, but I don't have a good rack. I'm a long way from a bingo. This is going to take some sorting out, but it's not a rack where I expect to be changing my tiles, because with the K and the V there's likely to be some scoring opportunities. Now at C9 across I could play Kai Eve, 34 points, that's pretty good. Leaving ITU, which is not good, but I don't think I'm going to be able to leave myself with a good leave. So the priority on this rack is score. The Z is available in column 8, but I don't think I have a play through that, which is a shame, because with most racks I think you probably would have something. I'm just making sure of that, but in my mind, but I can't see anything. And my play of Kaiv has been blocked. Now the K is a much better tile than the V. And it would be good to play off the V and the U. That's probably the best I can do in terms of dealing with the inadequacies of this rack. Bevu is good, Only 20 points. And it burns both of my E's. Rack lever KIT actually isn't too bad. I can't see a way of playing off the V and the U and scoring more than that. This isn't too dangerous because the V doesn't take a tile in front and Bevu only takes an S afterwards, and well, that's just not particularly dangerous. Gosh. I am getting a grim run of racks. Fortunately, I do still have the lead. Cootie is good. Well, first of all, the Z of zeroed is still available, so despite saying most racks would play through the Z, I believe I can't play through it on this go either. Well, I was just looking at playing at C9 down, which would block my opponent from using the Z, but I think I can only do that by playing Keat, K-E-T-E, and then the rack leave of double I-T-U is atrocious. So can I do better? I can't see anywhere to play Cootie, which is probably the best move in terms of sorting the rack out. Cling only takes a Y after it. I haven't got to play the K. I'm contemplating playing it because it's a scoring tile and my only scoring tile. Let's see what this looks like. $26 points, so that's not too bad. I mean, that is a score. Bad thing is that it retains the I and the U. They don't go well together. They're not particularly, or the U isn't a good tile anyway. And duplicate T isn't great. $26 points. Can I score more than that somewhere? EUK is good, but then that would be retaining two I's, which is no good at all. Okay, I'm going to play Kine, but I suspect it's not best. Well, I draw a further T to join the two I kept, which is always the problem of retaining two of a tile. And my opponent does take out the hotspot in column 8. So looking at the scores, I'm 23 points ahead. I don't have a bingo and I have no scoring tiles, but if I played a move like Tut or Tout, I would be leaving myself in a reasonable position. I need to be sure that I don't have a bingo, and that's a little tricky to see with 3 T's, because any such bingo is going to be low probability. I must remember that Bevu takes an S afterwards, now that I have one. Tutti is also good. Right, so where can I play any of these moves? Well, I could play stout at 04. 28 points. That's actually not too bad, and I don't have any E's or A's on my rack. So it's not as if playing off one or two tiles or even tut is going to leave me with a fabulous rack. There is a blank unseen, so playing off 5 tiles increases my chances of drawing it. Actually, I think there is something better I can do. Okay, I can play tout down here. $14 points. Now, stout and clings was 28, so I'd be giving up 14 points to keep the S. Well, the S is only worth 8 points, and there are 3 S's unseen, so that's not a particularly worthwhile point sacrifice. Great, and I do draw one of those unseen S's. There are quite a few floaters on the board. So I'm looking to see if I have a bingo. And because deal takes a T and an S, I do have a 7-letter bingo lane to consider, as well as row N. But I can't see a 7-letter bingo. I've got the floaters in Panzer to consider. Nothing through the P or the A. I'm mindful of the time. So I certainly can't dwell on this. Row E is promising. There is an E available. Nope, nothing through that. I've got the E and the D of 0 to consider. Nope, can't see anything there. Right, so priority is to play off the H, the O and the T. I'm looking around to see where I can play my H. Well, this may not be great. 18 points. Not too bad. INST is a pretty good lead. There's only 1 T out there and 2 N's. And this does open up another bingo lane. Well, there are a lot of vowels unseen, but I don't have them on my rack. And the only floating vowels are in first and last position in Panzer and zeroed. I do have the W and the G for scoring off. So I have 6 minutes left. Well, What can I do? I certainly need to play off this G. Sorry, the W. I have the ing ending, so I could play the W and the L. So I could play owl. Sting is pretty good. That goes well with a lot of vowels. Owl doesn't score very much. If my opponent is worried by that spot, he may end up opening up column 15. I am short of time. There may well be a better play, but I can't see an obviously better spot for my W. Well, no, I can't. I'm looking at E11, and I'm wondering if I can play something along row E, but I can't see it. Right, what do I have? This may be one of those promising looking racks which doesn't deliver. For ing words, I've got the ling ending through the L of owl. Now my opponent is slightly ahead. So I'm looking at the floaters in Panzer. Staining doesn't play. Can't see anything through the P. I can't see an 8 on my rack. Yeah, I can't see a bingo with this. I've got under 4 minutes left. Certainly not a good idea to hang on to the G for the GI ending. 18 points isn't great, but stain is an excellent rack leave. But with 3 A's out there, it's not guaranteed to deliver a bingo. I have the Q, so I do not have a bingo with this rack unless there's a floating U for quinats and quintans. My opponent plays quickly for 34 points. He's now got a 30-point lead. I've got fewer than 3.5 minutes left. I have to dump the Q. I've got chin, cat, and chi. Do any of those play? Still 2 S's unseen. I could play cheese at J14 down, but the rack leave of TANN is really poor. I could play chin at C6, but then that's keeping the duplicate N. Wow, this is tricky. This rack is not an easy one to deal with. Well, I am only 30 points behind, so I want to stay in touch with my opponent. "39 points, that's a good score. And I draw an I, so I do have the I to go alongside Q. There's only one I unseen and a blank, so it may be difficult for my opponent to take that spot. I've got just over 2 minutes, so I'm really short of time. There are 11 tiles in the bag, 7 on my opponent's rack. I can play I in at H15 down. Not sure I have too many other words which reach the triple word square at H15. I can play gay at n4 across, that would certainly score well, but not do anything about the duplicate n, and there is an n unseen. But I am 10 points ahead. Looking at the tiles at the left, there are a lot of vowels. My opponent could well have a bingo. If he does, I'm unlikely to be able to respond in kind. If he plays off 7, there's going to be 4 in the bag. There are still bingo lanes in different parts of the board, so if my opponent bingos, it's not definitely the end of the game. He'd just be a very strong favourite. Great. Iron is not blocked. This doesn't empty the bag. 34 points. NRT's a nice rack leave in the circumstances. And I draw the final blank. I'm 21 points ahead. I've got under 2 minutes on the clock. Do I have a bingo? Gosh. Our Notto is a 7. Can't see anywhere for that. I've really got the floaters in Panzer and the A of Vac. Our Turns is good, but there's probably quite a lot of 7s and that doesn't help me. P transport's too long. Not many words end with a P. I don't have the ship ending or the hip ending. My best bet is a word ending in A. So, do I have one? I'm just going to mentally run through the alphabet with the A on my rack as well. Up to K and I haven't seen anything. I'm up to P. Wow. Okay. I've got only a minute left. We're dead level on score. There are no tiles in the bag, so I am the favourite. I just need to go out in 2. But what militates against that is the shortage of time. $18 points. Okay. I didn't put a lot of thought into that. I've got drone at D13 down. I've got roan at D3 across. Iron at E14 down. I'm 18 points ahead. Okay, I think anything wins. I just need to avoid going overtime. Okay, so I've got mana across here. It's almost certainly not the highest scoring move, but it's going to be enough to secure the win. Just waiting for my opponent to formally end the game, which he does. And the final score, 348 to my opponent, 372 to me. So a win by just 24 points. That was a really tense and close game. There may well have been some misses, particularly towards the end of that game, so let's see if there were. It was me to go first. I changed, and I could have played Allo for 18, keeping W. I think the change is fine. Brew looks like it was best. Ayuri, yeah, that looks fine. Jailer rather than jail, well, I think this 4-point sacrifice to retain the E and the R were worthwhile. This is where I played biremes, and that looks best. Now I could have played UKE at K3. Oh, right above Minder. That would have been really nice. 28 points, and the VITE leave does actually have quite a lot of synergy. I played BevU for 20 and kept KIT. Uke was certainly better. Ooh, look at that. That was my opponent's rack. Really horrible. Now, Kine looks like it was either best or one of the best moves. Outsit for 31 points. I played Stout for 28. Outsit's probably better, but there's not much between those. Great, I thought I may have missed a bingo here, but I didn't. What did I play? I played Hot at K11 for 18 points. That looks fine. Well, no great plays here. I could have played NU, which would have taken out the spot where my opponent played his X to score well, but GILST is not a great leave. What did I do? Well, Owl for 12. Yeah, I think a number of those moves were probably better than Owl. Phew. Well, this was one of the racks where I thought there was a decent chance that I had missed a bingo, and it doesn't look like I didn't. I didn't play IG at N2, which I could have done, and that would have been good, 28 points. Instead, oh, look at that, I played GI. If I'd simply put the G the other side of the I would have scored 10 more points. Cheese for 39 looks best. And Iron for 34 is fine. Okay, I'm sure there was something I missed here. And it was... wow. Okay, no bingos. I was fully expecting there to be a small selection of playable bingos. What I did here was Tanti, which I had 32 seconds left at this point. Tanti pretty much guaranteed me the win because it scored enough and I had several places I could go out with my remaining tiles. And actually looking at the available options, none of them are significantly better than Tanti. Finally, I could have... oh, okay. Mana was the highest scoring play. So, sometimes when you play you think you're missing loads and you're not, and this was one of those occasions. So it's important when you are playing not to spend too long on a move and get into time trouble, and not to spend time on moves thinking about previous moves, because it's not a productive thing to do, and there may not have been a better move than the one you played, and your energies should always be focused on your current rack. So I think that was a good game for illustrating those points. It was a narrow win. It was a very exciting game to play. So I hope you enjoyed watching it. My name is David Webb, and this has been a video for Dweebovision.